What is the true cost of wanting more than you need? Imagine a man alone in a cold mill, reaching out for dice that have destroyed his home. Long ago, in a small village by hills and river, lived the miller Thomas. He was known for honest work and the finest flour. After a busy day, Thomas returned home happily, thinking of his loving wife and their 3 healthy children. One evening, Thomas met a strange merchant with a cart full of odd items and an unsettling smile. The merchant offered Thomas a pair of beautiful ivory dice, claiming they were blessed by fortune herself. Though Thomas never liked games of chance, he felt strangely drawn to the dice, which seemed warm in his palm. Thomas played just one game, betting a coin, and was surprised to win 3 back with 1 throw. Excited, Thomas played again and again, winning more each time. By midnight, his purse was full. "Come back tomorrow," the merchant said, his smile widening. The dice seemed to favor Thomas. The next night and the next, Thomas kept returning to play. He still won at first and bought his family many fine gifts. But soon the dice turned cold. Thomas began to lose more than he won, but he could not walk away. Each night, Thomas told himself, "Just one more game." He grew desperate for a win. Winter came early, and soon Thomas had lost his savings, grain, and the money meant for his children's warm clothes. Still, Thomas could not break free. In a final desperate bid, he gambled away his very mill, throwing the dice on a bitter night. "The mill is mine," said the merchant, voice as cold as ice. Thomas realized he had lost everything. The merchant declared Thomas could stay and work, but half his earnings would now belong to the merchant. Thomas came home to his wife, weeping beside the empty hearth. Children curled in thin blankets, the house colder than ever. He confessed his losses to his wife. Her face turned cold, and sorrow filled the air. Unable to stay, the wife gathered the children and left that night, leaving Thomas standing alone in silence. Now alone, Thomas worked in his mill from dawn to dusk, every day sending half his flour to the merchant. Each night, Thomas stared at the dice the merchant had left, feeling their promise calling him again. Years passed. Thomas grew old and bent, his hair white as his finest flour. His children never returned home. Thomas heard news that his wife had died far away, her heart broken after he lost everything. On his deathbed, Thomas called for the village priest. He wanted to confess everything before he died. Thomas spoke of the merchant, of dice that felt alive, and his hunger for more, even as all else slipped away. "There was no devil's magic," the priest said. "Only your own greed and pride gave the dice their power." Thomas died alone in his mill that night. The merchant never returned. The evil had already done its work. Villagers found the dice among his things, but buried them with Thomas, fearing their power. To this day, when the autumn wind howls, people say you can hear the rattle of dice and Thomas's voice crying for one more chance. Beware the hunger that is never satisfied, for it will devour first your wealth, then your peace, then your family, and finally your very soul. What seems like fortune's favor may be ruin's disguise. Do you sometimes want more, even when you already have enough? What could be lost if you let this hunger grow too strong?